Now to an important story on the rule of law and what Donald Trump's controversial attorney general is up to. America continues to debate our whole criminal justice system, from the long-standing and, yes, bipartisan systems of racism to new problems under Trump. But there is also now mounting evidence that Donald Trump's attorney general, Bill Barr, is deploying the DOJ's powers to protect convicted felons who are close to Trump, like his allies Michael Flynn and Roger Stone. And there are new allegations Barr is also trying to use his power to potentially punish Trump's enemies. Which brings us to this big contrast right now. Top Trump advisors who were sent to jail by juries and judges are now free, like Paul Manafort and Roger Stone, while Trump's former personal lawyer turned antagonist Michael Cohen is actually back in custody. Like Manafort, he was actually released from prison early for COVID, but then he was just sent back to jail, and now Cohen alleges there is, he says, an illegal Trump-Barr plot to retaliate and silence him before the election. So think about that. Right now, Donald Trump's own former lawyer is the one suing Donald Trump. Cohen alleging the Trump administration is keeping him in jail as a payback for his plans to release a scathing upcoming book. The lawsuit claims that Barr is literally, quote, imprisoning Cohen in retaliation for drafting a book about Trump. Obviously, if true, that would violate your First Amendment rights. And all of that may be true. It will be fought out in court. It is also true, it's been reported, that Cohen was caught out to dinner with his wife and another couple, which appeared to violate his confinement agreement. His lawyer is arguing that it doesn't. But Cohen ended up back in front of a New York judge. And this is where the story takes such an important turn. Cohen's probation officers asked him to agree to terms that he, at first, basically wouldn't accept. It was a probation form that would restrict him speaking out or having contact with the media, no engagement of any kind, including books. Cohen's advisor saying that when he backed down about this, he was still taken into custody anyway. And an officer reportedly told Cohen, quote, "It's out of our hands." Okay. That's what the officer literally said. So whose hands was it in? Allegedly, the Bill Barr Justice Department. And that sounds bad for Barr because think about it. A standard local probation decision is almost never important enough for the attorney general to meddle with.
Can you name a case or two where you have intervened so dramatically where the person involved was not connected to the president?
Off the top of my head, I'm sure there are a number of cases since I've been here that I've done that.
You can't think of one, but...
Well, frequently, we don't go discussing who's under investigation at any given time.
He couldn't think of one. That was an important failure to answer the question. It's the same Bill Barr meddling to help Stone and Flynn, who is now literally helping allegedly slap these cuffs on Michael Cohen. Now, there's a reason that actually goes much farther than just this legal fight. There's a reason they're so worried that could go all the way to the next election. Trump's allies worried about Cohen going public on Trump because they remembered last time.
I know what Mr. Trump is. He is a racist, he is a con man, and he is a cheat. The country has seen Mr. Trump court white supremacists and bigots in private. He is even worse. He once asked me if I could name a country run by a black person that wasn't a shithole. This was when Barack Obama was president of the United States.
Now, the First Amendment issues here are not an automatic resolution because Cohen was supposed to be in jail where he wouldn't be able to do most media. But the lawsuit's also telling us a lot more about what is in this forthcoming book. Allegations of graphic details about Trump's behavior, pointedly certain anti-Semitic remarks, virulently racist remarks against black leaders such as Obama and Mandela, according to the new suit. Now, how scary is one book or one media tour around a book? Well, at the White House, they're keeping track of this. They just lived through Donald Trump's niece shattering all kinds of interest, audience records, etc., with her account of her uncle.
Have you heard the president use the N-word? Yeah. And anti-Semitic slurs specifically? Yes.
That was noticed. Donald Trump, who is notoriously ratings obsessed, may have kept track of the fact that that interview, which, yes, was here on Rachel Maddow's show on MSNBC, broke ratings records with over 5 million viewers. That made it the most watched thing on all of TV, including primetime broadcast TV. Now, as that legal fight is occurring, there's another convicted felon out talking without concern about any free speech situations because he's not going to jail anymore. And that, of course, is Roger Stone, who did this victory lap in classic Stone style. You see him right here when he discussed Donald Trump, who, again, after Bill Barr went and tried to help the initial sentence, then commuted the whole thing anyway.
So the president has saved my life, and he's given me the opportunity to fight for vindication, to fight for my exoneration.
You have Donald Trump's actual handwriting on that one. This isn't the first time that Trump and his allies meddled. It was, again, and this is important, Bill Barr that first tried to save Donald Trump from even having to commute the sentence and got all kinds of criticism from legal experts, also the resignation of 4 line prosecutors, then 2,000 other prosecutors. 2,000 said Barr shouldn't have this job anymore. He should resign just over that. And that may have been the straw that broke the camel's back, because Barr, of course, was now being seen much more as the president's personal lawyer than as the real attorney general. And he's been criticized before about his approach to the job. But keep in mind, this is the second time Mr. Barr has taken up this office. At his first confirmation hearing, this was back in 1991, he talked about the importance of being independent and not cutting people political breaks.
A lot has been said about not wanting to have a political Justice Department. And I agree with that. You shouldn't sweep anything under the rug. Don't cut anyone a special break. Don't show favoritism. Don't withhold an indictment that should be laid down because of political influence.
Just take each of those in turn. Don't sweep anything under the rug. It's Trump's own former lawyer alleging that's exactly what Barr is trying to do to his book right now. Don't cut anyone a special break. That's exactly how Barr meddled in Roger Stone's jail sentence, a move so extreme that you had those resignations. And then don't withhold an indictment because of political influence. That's what Barr did by literally withdrawing Mike Flynn's indictment and guilty plea, undoing a legal victory that was achieved by the very same DOJ he manages, but of course back when Bob Mueller still worked there. How could a lawyer as shrewd as Bill Barr make so many pledges under oath that he's now contradicting that we can just walk you through them right here? Well, one answer is those pledges are literally the bare minimum for serving as attorney general in any party or any era. If you were to admit the illegal intent to abuse your power to try to corruptly control who goes to jail for political reasons, you wouldn't get confirmed. And that's where all these different strands and stories unite. From the streets in Portland and Black Lives Matter to the secret deals in Donald Trump's Washington, these are attacks on our rule of law. The New York Times' Michelle Goldberg also just tied this all together in a chilling piece, writing, Trump has already established that his allies, like Mike Flynn and Roger Stone, are above the law. What happens now will tell us how many of us are below it. This is not a drill. Activists around the nation are demanding America reckon with the rule of law. The problems that, yes, predate this president and many that are of Donald Trump's making. But the rule of law itself, a central question in this coming campaign and what America will accept. Michael Cohen's suit is just one piece of this picture. A judge will actually hear the spectacle of the president's former lawyer suing the president from prison this coming Thursday. But that case turns on what Cohen's allowed to say and do. I tell you tonight, the much larger question is whether Americans will accept or challenge what Bill Barr is trying to do as he executes his notions of Trump justice. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.